Alrighty, we're back for another summarizing session of this book, Fantastic Mr. Fox by Roald Dahl. Let's turn this down a little bit. And, yep, we're back for part 2. It's been a while, actually. This is going to be chapters 5 through 10, only about 20 pages with illustrations. So, very fast-moving story. So yeah, I got notes here, but I also have some questions which are important for reading. Usually, in school, your teacher might ask you this, but if you're grown, you don't have a teacher anymore, this is your own independent study, then you must ask the questions yourself. So number one is, what kind of name is Roald? Right, I have no idea. In all my years, I've never met a person named Roald. I've never, other than this Roald, I have no idea what country it is. So I had to Google it myself, and found out that he was born in Wales, which is a part of the UK, the United Kingdom, to Norwegian parents, which means they're from Norway. And his father came from Norway, settled in the UK, and his mother came over too. And actually, Norwegian was his first language. So even this guy was an English student. His first native language was Norwegian, which was spoken in the home with family members. So his mother, his father, his brothers and sisters, they all spoke Norwegian in the house. Which I don't even know what that sounds like. So I have no idea. So yeah, that's his name, Roald Dahl. Yep. So mystery solved there. So you might as well just go into his childhood. What was his childhood like? Another quick Google search, and you find out he attended 3 schools, according to Wikipedia. Maybe more. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? And number 1, it says, was called Cathedral School Llandaff. Okay. And one thing of notable point in his childhood was he was caned by the principal, the boss of the school, at 8 years old for putting a dead mouse in a candy jar. So even as a boy, he's kind of messing with adults and rebelling, breaking the rules, similar to his characters, I think, in his stories. But yeah, caned. Wow, that sounds really bad. That's where, yeah, cane, well, it means like a stick. I think he was hit with a stick. Probably not the type that like an old man or old person walks with. Maybe not that heavy, but really almost whipped with a stick. So that's not good. His next school was called St. Peter's Boarding School. And this one, it just says, he was homesick. So that sounds like it was his first time leaving his family. And I assume it maybe at 8 years old. I don't know. Maybe he was finished with that school, or I don't know, maybe around that time, 8 or 9. And he was homesick. And this sounds familiar where, yeah, boarding school is kind of a normal, or it definitely was a normal practice in those days, which I don't even know the dates. I guess it was 1930s. I should Google it. Let's see. Let's look at the Wikipedia right here. So if he was born in 1916, so we'll say 1926, he's like 10 years old. So maybe we'll say 1926 about. Oops, where's that symbol? I don't have it. About 1926. In this time it was normal practice to send children to live at school full time. And of course I didn't grow up like this. I lived at my parents' house, went to school, came back. But I've heard one explanation of this was that in the UK, it was common for if you could afford it, if you could pay the money, to send your children to this school to begin at a very young age, to prepare them to be away from the home base, be away from the family, because the UK was the empire that had power all over the world. So your child who starts at 10 at a difficult, rigorous school, your child might become a leader somewhere in the British Empire, maybe like Hong Kong or Australia or New Zealand, Singapore, all these places where the UK still controlled. So this was before all these, they become independent, countries. So that was the mindset. Send him away because it's good for him. Probably him, I guess, later when he becomes a powerful and very strong person to, become famous and, amazing in his career. So yeah, it's kind of funny. You look at Harry Potter living at the magic school I think it's not so strange. It's kind of part of the culture, and still today it is done. So let's see. School number 3 is called Repton School, which is he's 13 years old. He said he hated it. Hated the hazing, which is kind of a bullying, but it's more systematic. Like there's a system to, like, yep, today is your turn, or next time is him, and everybody gets it. You can't. It's just, that's the system. When you get older, you do to someone else, and you can feel good, maybe, I guess. Also here was a corporal punishment. I think corpo. Well, yeah, I think it means of the body. So yeah, that means more caning by teachers. So hazing from elder students, punishment from the teachers, and I guess that's the main thing. So yeah, it sounds like a nightmare. Let's look at it. It's still there today. This is the Repton School. Look at that background. Looks pretty ancient there, although it looks like modern also. Yep. Wow. Don't you want your happiest boarding school? Wow, that's good. So it changed. So from Roald Dahl's time, it's been crowned the UK's happiest school. Award-winning STEM program. I think that means like science or other programs. Repton's House Spirit. Yeah, look at these people. Wow, you want to become like them. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of an interesting part. It's kind of funny if in America, if I heard of a boarding school, that meant you're a bad kid, or bad student. Like the parents send you away. We can't control you. You go to this super strict school, and we pay them to change you because you're too difficult. But in the UK, in the UK, I think boarding school means it's just a very rigorous education. Anyway, so that's just a different kind of a reaction to the word boarding school. That's only mine though. That's my feeling there. Anyway, let's get into it. So that's 10 minutes. Let's get into it. So let's get into this is my part 2. So only a few sentences for each chapter. First of all, we had the farmers, or the bad, they're farmers, I guess. They dig a huge hole that could fit a house in it, so a really enormous hole. And that's kind of funny. This really helps to imagine, like, how big is it? Well, you could drop a whole house in it. It's kind of funny. The adults are clearly stupid, and dirty. So this is a good storytelling method for children. These adults are idiots, right? The kids are smart, or the animals are smart. These adults, they don't know what they're doing. They're just screwing up everything. They get big bulldozers, like the mechanical diggers, or excavators, I think they're called. That's the machine. Yeah, it kind of scoops out the dirt to dig even further. All right, that's chapter 5. We'll go number 6. So they keep digging until the hill. It was a hill. The hill looks like the crater of a volcano, which is a crater is that hole, that pocket where the lava comes out. So it's like a crater there. And then next chapter 7, they still haven't found the fox, so they decide to camp out and wait. Else he starves to death. And so this is called a siege. In wartime, you go to a city, say let's fight, and if they don't come out, you just wait, and they eat up all their food inside, and people get sick, and no more water, then they have to give up. So sometimes both sides waiting does the attacking people, do they have enough food? Are they getting more food, or do we have enough food? Or is the weather going to get bad? So we can be warm inside, I guess, in the winter, but if maybe they're going to give up. It's kind of a waiting game. And the next chapter 8. Here's a funny thing about this chapter 8. One of them says, one farmer says, I don't remember who, Bogus, Bunce, and Bean, they're all pretty much the same character. They're same, I don't know why. It's kind of, there's no reason to separate them. It's just 3 stupid farmers, and with kind of ridiculous names, and all of them have kind of a silly, body and style. So one farmer says, what if it digs another hole and comes out somewhere else? You didn't think of that, did you? Right? So one guy complains, saying, well, we're waiting here. What if he just goes somewhere else where he'll run away? You didn't think of that, did you? And the other one says, of course I did. Of course I did. said Bean. I think this should be a comma. Pretending he had. So the response is, yeah, I know that, but pretending he did, which means, oh, actually I didn't think of that, but I want to show that I did. I'm fake. I'm acting like I know. So that's another funny point where the farmers kind of argue with each other again to show the children audience how, like, yeah, these adults, they don't know. They're just screwing up. They pretend like they know. Actually, they don't know. So that was funny. So Acts chapter 8 again. They gather 108 staff members of all of their farms, from all of their farms, to encircle the crater. So encircle means, yeah, make a circle around something, around the hole that they're waiting around. Mr. Fox doesn't come out because he can smell one of them who really stinks. All right, so that's a lot of activity in that one. So and then chapter 9, we'll say it's been 3 days with no food or water. So they get so the foxes get the great idea to keep digging. I mean, that's what they were doing. So it is kind of, why didn't they just do that sooner? So question, I wonder though why Mr. or Mrs. Fox didn't just think of this earlier, if they want to save their children. Now, it's because, you want to build the tension and make the audience or reader think, oh, wow, maybe they can, they can die. You don't want it to be so easy. Chapter 10, the final last one of this segment. So they dig toward a secret destination that Mr. Fox doesn't say, and then finally dig upward to find that they are under a building. They emerge, which means come out of a hole, or just appear at right under Bogus's chicken house. So they drink some water and grab some chickens. So ends on a good point. They get out of there, and they actually get into the farmer's chicken house and then eat his food. So let's make this into a summary. So this is last time I didn't actually do this summary part 2. We're started off with the foxes. Oh no, the farmers dig a huge hole that could fit a house in it. Okay, and I'll say they are I'm gonna say they are written as clearly stupid and dirty adults, which must be funny to child readers, or to young readers. That was my little comment there. Okay, they get big bulldozer. They get big. I'm gonna say just excavators to dig even further. Okay, and then join this and keep digging. So this comma we can cut out, and keep digging until the hill looks like the crater of a volcano. All right, and so let's move this down, and we'll go next paragraph. They still haven't found the fox, so they decide to camp out and wait Yeah, else he starves to death. I think that's right. I might put that word. They decide to camp out. I say start a siege. I just use that word. Okay, and join this in. So one farmer says, "What if it digs another hole and comes out somewhere else?" You didn't think of that, did you? Bean replies, of course I did. And then I'll just make it more easy. I'm kind of changing the positioning, but it's all right. Pretending he had. This is another example of the adults arguing and pretending as though they have the situation under control when in fact they don't at all. So, and yeah, that's a funny point for kids. Okay, they gather 108 staff members from all of their farms entering the crater. And I'll join this. But Mr. Fox doesn't come out because he can smell one of the farmers. I'll make that just clear. Who really stinks. Okay, and then next, another paragraph here. It's been 3 days with no food or water, so the foxes keep digging. I wonder though why Mr. or Mrs. Fox didn't just think of this earlier if they truly want to save their children. So question to the author, to nobody, no answer. Well, it's because they want to build the tension, build the suspense. They dig toward a secret destination and finally dig upward to find that they are under, and then finally dig upward. Yeah, that's okay. Miraculously, it's a miracle. They miraculously emerge right in her box's chicken house. So they drink some water and get some chickens, and that's it. So yeah, a little short. Yeah, just 1.5 pages for about 20 pages. That's about it. All right. So yeah, that's a more straight ahead chapter with some research beforehand into the writer, into his family and his school. Yeah, this is a good idea to kind of elevate your reading, just to expand to who wrote this, when, and what was his or her, background. All right, so any questions or comments, you can put them below, and we'll see you in the next one.